If you look up corruption in the dictionary, it's just his fucking face, Joe.
Well, there, look what happened. Is this crazy?
Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? That dude had dementia, and they covered it up, dude. They lied to you the whole damn time that dude was in office.
So if you're going to tell me before that somebody stacked it against Trump, somebody definitely stacked it for him this time.
A chance to tear down Democrats makes my day.
That didn't happen, and Fauci's emails didn't say that.
He said, well, what are you going to do now? And I said, well, not fucking burn the Capitol building down like you have to do.
What does this anti-LGBTQ rhetoric practically mean for a second Trump term?
Every gay kid came from a straight couple.
Straight people, gay people, trans people, they all spoke.
Wow.
It wasn't an issue. You know what I'm saying? You guys had your 2015 where you guys were able to get married. Everybody did Pride, dude. People were able to make money off of Pride.
You have assumed I am gay, therefore I have a feeling on transition.
It's almost the same term as you people.
To it, and you believe that they are trying to turn your children into them.
Trump has already done the damage. Now, what happens to me, Joe? I'm married.
I've seen a 50% increase in my portfolio. And it's like, well, that's good for you, old man.
I just want to point out that Steve is not Steve. Rip off that mask. Show us that you're really old man Willard.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the Madhouse Show. With me today, from left to right, we got Mark St. George. Over there, we have Luke Kuhlenberg. We have James Lee, Stephen Vogt, and Christopher Sudlick. So, here we go. The results are in.
What? I'm sorry, go ahead.
The results are in. Donald Trump won with an overwhelming lead. The American people obviously spoke very loudly. Is this for the better or worse for our country? Let's go ahead and let's play a clip. Play clip 1, Stevie, if you don't mind. As if we needed a memory refresher.
This is a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly.
Right.
We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And
Maybe not in 4
we made
years,
history
but
for a reason tonight,
He's
and the
full of
reason
crap.
is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
All right. So that should get us going pretty good, right? So I want to keep it to, let's keep short answers here because I'd like everybody to respond to this first question here. So let's start with George, our newcomer over here. You just look dumbfounded.
Well, technically, you started with Trump. You asked a question and let Trump answer. So
That is true. That is true. I was like, I fucked that up right from the get-go, but that's okay. That's fine.
I would just state for the record that it is a majority. He clearly won the popular vote. He clearly won the Electoral College. 50 some odd million people voted against him. So it is not, it is certainly not the country spoke with one voice. The country spoke slightly louder in one voice.
Sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good. I'll head out then. Yeah.
No, I agree.
My work here
I
is
agree.
done. All right, fine. Yeah.
I agree. It was a more overwhelming lead than I really thought he was going to have. But I mean, you had the media just sitting here saying it was going to be a tight race the whole time, and it just didn't seem anywhere near as tight as.
Pollsters said it was going to be tight.
True.
Pollsters
Very
are
true.
often wrong.
Let's go down the line. Luke, what do you think? Is the country for the better or the worse now that Trump's won?
I mean, honestly, it's really hard to say because his first term around, the economy was badass. Like our dollar went further. People could go on vacations, go do things to their house or fix their house or make a car payment for that matter. So hopefully under this term, he'll do even better than that, but only time will tell what happens,
Yeah, that's for sure. James, what do you think over here?
Man, can you just say Trump won one more time? Like, let me say that in the mic. Can you just say Trump won one more time?
Now, why couldn't you say that 4 years ago?
Oh, because that shit was rigged.
There's some interesting things about that. Yeah, for sure.
That shit was rigged.
I mean, I don't know if I really needed, with your attire, even really to ask you how you felt about that.
What?
To tell you the truth.
No, it's
Steve, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this, man?
I mean, I just look back historically, and every time a Republican's in office, they leave it worse than they found it. So I anticipate the same thing.
Hell yeah.
You're here.
I mean, they always inherit a better economy than they leave out with.
Every day I just start out by praying and say, Dear Lord, deliver us from Republicans. Amen.
I would like to see bipartisanship go away. I would like to see an independent party again. It's been, I don't know, 100 years or more since we've had a partisan change. So that I would like to see.
That leads to socialism.
It didn't the last time it happened.
Well, I mean, FDR was arguably socialist.
Well, yeah.
Arguably. But, all right. So, you want my answer now?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah, sure.
Joe, skip him, please.
No. Well, first of all, he didn't have like the biggest movement of all time. Like he had less votes than last time by a bit. So it's not like he had some huge new leap of support or anything. It was roughly the same support.
Everything went red.
Will I say it's worse than if Kamala was elected? I don't fucking know. But I know that it's going to be worse than it is now. And I think that was going to be the case no matter who won, but I will definitely say it's going to be worse 4 years from now than it was today.
Okay.
Like, that's inevitability.
Inevitability. I got you.
3 extra syllables in that word.
Abominable snowman.
All right. So, that brings us to our second question now. So, in the event of a major conflict, our government does not transfer power. With everything heating up overseas, do you think we are at risk of this happening? If China attacks Taiwan, we are in a major conflict. Could this be the only play the Democrats have left? In reality, there's still a chance we could see Kamala as president in this situation. I want to play a clip before we get started. So, Stevie, if you could please play clip 2 for me.
Well, Monday's drills have been described as presenting more threats than ever to Taiwan, forcing the military to react quickly to those threats. And the security official also outlined how China fired 2 missiles, so that's some rare live-fire drills near Taiwan. They also said that 25 Chinese Coast Guard boats and Navy vessels approached close to Taiwan's contiguous zone. That's 24 kilometers off Taiwan's coast. Why was China conducting these drills? Well, the security official said that with these exercises, China is practicing how to turn drills like this into a full-out attack.
So I think for Taiwan, they're willing to try to move ahead on the relationship across the straits. They want to show goodwill. They are also trying to avoid and actually demonstrate that they are not the troublemaker. They are not the intransigent party that Beijing is trying to paint them as.
Beijing has been quite determined to label Lai as a troublemaker. They call him a dangerous separatist for his comments on Taiwan and its sovereignty. But what we've seen from Lai, especially from his National Day speech, is that he's keen to carefully choose his words so as not to provoke Beijing. Now he's showing that his administration will push for dialogue across the strait, even as more details of Chinese aggression emerge.
So, do we have anyone that would personally like to take this on this panel here? You?
Yes.
Topher? Okay, we'll go Topher first, and then we'll come to George right afterwards.
Sure. So, like, Taiwan is a huge issue, but it's going to be an issue here because of chips. And I mean, we've made huge progress in the last few years to having our own chip supply. So, like, right now, if Taiwan goes to war, we're only getting taken back like 15 years instead of like 40 years, which is what the case would have been a couple years ago, which is more than our economy could take. But they're talking about China running war games right off their coast. Well, they are off the coast of China by like 50 miles, right? So we're talking about China doing war games on their own coast. Meanwhile, we've been doing war games with Taiwan 10 miles off of China's coast for like several years now on end. So like we've been desperately aggressive right on their border. Like we've got all of our bases there. We've had carrier groups surrounding them in the South China Sea. We have had China surrounded for a long time. They're definitely bothered by that. They definitely feel nervous about the sheer amount of U.S. presence there.
What bases do we have in Taiwan?
Not in Taiwan, but in a lot of places in the South Pacific and everything. So, like shit we won in World War II.
Yeah, I was like, I don't recall any bases being in Taiwan, but no, okay, yeah, all right.
Did you have something particular you wanted to add, George?
Well, just umbrage. Is that okay to inject into the conversation? A decent amount of umbrage. So, as you know, Joe is kind enough, folks. He kind of preps us a little bit for the show. So, I had a little bit of an opportunity to engage these questions, and they seem to be written by Joe Limbaugh. But
I do my best, man. I'm new at this shit.
Well, okay, no, fair enough. I'm of a party who's forgiving. So anyways, I take umbrage with the question, really, how you sort of frame the question.
Sure,
absolutely.
In philosophy, this would be called a complex question, where you assume an answer into the question that you have to take in order to get to the back end.
Yes.
But you say, will our government, is there a risk of our government not having a peaceful transition to power? I'd love to play this game with you. Would everyone like to play a game? Just real quick, it'll take like 30 seconds. Quick.
Sure, absolutely. I'm all for
Who
games.
said this? Is it Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Kamala Harris? Okay, ready? We will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. Any guesses? Going once.
Oh, that's definitely Joe Biden or Kamala Harris.
It was Kamala Harris. Very good. Okay. Round two.
Harris just said it.
We will never give up. We will never concede.
Well, that would be a Trump
That was-
statement.
Okay,
I'm
fair
sure.
enough. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's there. You got it.
I've said it many times. You can't love your country only when you win.
That's got to be a
That's gonna
Kamala.
be. Yeah, I was gonna say that was Kamala.
Harris
That was
being-
Joe Biden.
Yeah, I was going to say
Wow.
Kamala or Joe, yeah.
By the way, all
I
these
can't tell the
clips,
differences.
all these clips can be found in video form as well, so you don't have to chat GPT me.
Yeah.
We didn't lose.
That would be a Trump.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay,
Trump.
so who do we have to worry about here in the peaceful transition? Have the Democrats given any sign whatsoever?
They said Trump is like Hitler. He's going to be the next Hitler.
Does that have any?
No.
They,
I've
they are
seen the
going to
opposition
engage
as well,
in a
so.
peaceful transfer of power. Could the Republicans say that if Trump won? Nope. Want to argue?
You mean if Trump did not win?
If Trump did not win, I assume your side, would your side lose its collective minds? The answer, yes.
Well, you got
And I'll just say this: would January 6th have been an isolated incident, or would it have been something national?
I think it would have been this time for sure worse if it would have looked like the last 2020 election, which I do think there is something to be said. Like, and I should have pulled up the damn graph or
Joe.
whatever, but it's interesting.
Joe.
Yes, sir.
We are frozen up right now.
We are frozen up.
Damn, I was winning. Yeah, we had a technical glitch, but to remind the audience, I was clearly winning. No. I just think it's rather odd you would frame this in such a way to draw it to where the Democrats and even if so I will throw to you, even if Chinese takes action before January 20th, even if Joe Biden dies before January 20th, government will function the way it is intended.
Sure. But the way it's intended, and that's why I feel like the Republicans would absolutely flip out because most of them don't understand that in a major conflict
They
there
don't
is
understand
no
much, but go ahead.
Well, that in a major conflict there is no transfer of power. That is what's written in our
there would
laws
be.
already.
We
Like,
had transfers of power in the middle of like World War II, in the middle of World War I. I mean, this stuff
Isn't that
happens.
because the other guy died?
And in Vietnam, and yes,
He
but
died in
also
his mistress's arms, to be fair. But
in
yes.
Korea,
Yeah, he
in
died of
Vietnam, like
polio.
we've always had a transfer of power, and like even though the Democrats say like Trump is a Nazi, they don't ideologically believe in standing against him or standing like even if he was Hitler himself, they'd still be like, well, you
get
won a
him
fair
out.
election, it's okay,
Yeah,
we'll
this is
just
what
hand
the
the country
people
over to
wanted.
Nazis. It's okay. It's the way the country's built.
I could see that. And just for the record, I'm not a staunch Trump supporter by any means. I'm anti-Democrat, if that makes any more sense. I do believe that
But why is that picture painted? Why is anti-Democrat a thing? What does the Democratic Party do? Like, really do? Not the shit you've heard. But what do they do?
they allow mergers and acquisitions to continue as the rich absolutely rape our country dry, as they charge us more and more prices and pay us less and less wages, eliminate our jobs, outsource everything.
Who's trying to bring
That sounds
jobs?
more like
Who's trying to
Republicans
increase
as well.
wages?
That
Yeah, no,
hasn't
both
happened
parties
in
do.
the last.
But both parties
that
do
hasn't
that.
happened in the last 3
Yeah.
years.
It's still been happening. I mean, why do you think prices are double what they were 4 years ago?
I mean, that's not how economy works.
Both parties increase wages, some for the lower half, some for the upper half. I would agree totally with that.
I mean, it's as simple as just shutting down the Keystone Pipeline and opening up the border first day.
See, I want to
That
know
didn't
who
help.
has like
Yeah,
what
but I mean,
like
GDP's
what like
only been down
border's
for the
not
first
open,
two
bro.
quarters of 21. After 21, after second quarter of 21, GDP has risen every year. We've not lost. We've not gone down. Income has increased.
What's GDP measure, bud?
The domestic product.
Yeah, it measures how much money rich people are making. It
got
doesn't
it.
measure how much money people are making
No.
on Main Street.
But I get you. And there's a big squeeze on.
Because I
Main
would say,
Street.
yeah, regardless of any statistic you bring out, I mean, personally, I've experienced shit and more shit as the years have rolled on.
I mean, I've just
That's
continuously
damn shit.
improved.
And I personally think the Democrats are corrupt. You know, I didn't like Hillary. Like, I mean, that was probably my first actual political opinion was the Trump and Hillary, and I was just like, well, Hillary seems evil as hell.
Trump is appointing his fucking sycophants to all the positions. What are you talking about? He is. If you look up corruption in the dictionary, it's just his fucking face, Joe.
He's right about that, man.
Hey, like I said, I'm not a staunch Trump supporter by any means.
Yeah, what are we
You've
fucking
been
talking
convinced.
about?
There's some
His
pretty
biggest
conservative
donors are going
out
to
there,
be
bro.
assigned to positions of
But
power.
when people say that, they always act like the left isn't corrupt. They almost
The left has
like
plenty of problems.
I was going to say that
left-
there's
Everybody had a
It's
problem
got
with this
problems.
first cabinet, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody had a problem with this first cabinet.
I think it's
now
second
you
will be
fucking
worse.
I hope there's improvement in his decision making. Absolutely.
talking
dude.
to
His
the mic.
first cabinet set
microphone, Steve.
set him up for failure, dude. His second cabinet has nothing but the best intentions of looking out for this dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like seriously. The first dude, when his phone calls were coming into Trump Tower, man, like motherfucking they didn't screen him. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? When they allowed that the guy prank called him saying he was the president of Taiwan or some shit like that, dude, and then come to find out he didn't have there is no fucking president of Taiwan or whoever the fuck they said it was. You know what I'm saying? But nobody prepped that man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody did nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
It would
yeah,
help if he
set
went to
that-
his security briefings.
You set that
Yeah,
dude.
that does help.
I'm just saying, man, if you set this motherfucker up, dude, for failure, then of course he's gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing and you're not trained properly and you're put with a bunch of people who are set up from the inside, dude, to bring you down. This time, dude, he's fucking bringing his own people in, dude, people he trusts.
Okay, so
So I mean, give the motherfucker a shot, bro.
I was asking-
you know what I'm saying? I mean, like seriously, you guys had a run with Biden. That dude sucked ass. Like, who walked away with money?
So what I'm
you know what I'm
hearing
saying?
is-
When did that dude finish his sentence to let you know that he was fucking you out of money? You know what I mean? Like seriously, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? That dude had dementia and they covered it up, dude. They lied to you the whole damn time that dude was in office.
So what I'm hearing
But we're
is,
supposed to back this dude.
Steve, go ahead, please.
So like what you're saying is his argument is Trump failed so bad the last time that he learned how not to fail so bad.
I'm saying he's putting in people that he trusts.
Right, because he failed so poorly the first time.
But he didn't really fail the
but he
first
didn't-
time.
yeah, but I'm not saying he failed, you know what I'm saying?
Banging, dude, because our dollar went way further when he was in office.
We spent 8 years growing the economy. We spent 8 years growing it prior to him taking over office in the first term. How did we end?
How did we?
How did we
You
end?
gotta
How
take
did
You had fucking
2020
Biden
end?
shut down the fucking Keystone Pipeline on his
20
first fucking day of office, and then how many
He did.
fucking
And
steel
and
factories
then you
did he
still
shut
had
down?
COVID underneath
He
his
fucked us,
last year.
bro.
That's how
Yeah.
we ended.
He sold us
with the
down the
COVID
fucking
bullshit.
river to the
Correct.
highest
We sure
bidder.
did.
That's
And we
what the
started with
fuck
him
happened.
sending out money that pumped up inflation. And we started with him botching regulations that would have helped prevent and deal with what happened at that time. That was his cabinet. That was his administration.
Well, name one
And it
that
was also
didn't
a
botch
Democrat
anything
ran
to
House and a
benefit that
Democrat ran
party.
Senate.
I mean, we've spent the last 4 years improving with the exception of the first 2 quarters of 21. So I'd say we're not doing horrible. I mean, earnings have gone up.
Well, I think
GDP
it's
has gone up.
I think it's
Employment has gone up.
It's
All
an
of
issue.
these numbers
It's an
are
issue
there.
of metrics. Like employment's barely gone up. It's been marginal. But like when you look at people's wages compared to rents, compared to core cost of living, compared to the actual stuff, that's all gotten a lot worse. And I mean, I think the reason that's gotten a lot worse is because Joe Biden has been doing austerity politics for the past few years.
I mean,
Trump put forth a bunch of different policies in his time. Like the child tax credit and like some of this stuff was supported massively by Democrats and everything, but Joe Biden let all this stuff expire. He let the eviction moratorium expire. He let the child tax credit expire. He let all these other programs that we had in place expire, and child poverty skyrocketed. People's poverty skyrocketed. Poverty is 45% higher than it was when Joe Biden took office. I mean, that's brutal. People are feeling that. Yeah, and I mean that's what people are mad about. It's like nobody cares that GDP is going up except for people with retirement savings. Boomers care about it because they're like, well, my portfolio is doing great. I've seen a 50% increase in my portfolio, and it's like, well, that's good for you, old man. But the rest of us are still trying to pay off our debts that are your profits.
If money has to move around the world, it has to, because if it doesn't, then I mean we're stagnant and we're done.
That's called the velocity of money. It's a huge economic indicator. The faster money's moving, the better. It's when people start hoarding money that it's a problem. And people hoard money when you've got deflation, gold, cryptocurrency. It tends to be hoarded as an investment asset instead of a means of currency, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's coming from, let's just say, a simpleton's standpoint, because believe it or not, I bring people on my panel that I think are a lot smarter than me. So thank you, guys.
And Joe, despite that, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, right. I'm glad you give me a chance.
Just from the standpoint of just a normal, average Joe, dare I, citizen, just the media attacking Trump the way it does, that rubs me the wrong way. The legacy media, and then George with his damn mouth open. Like, really? Are you trying to trump the microphone?
I'm sorry, my soul died a little bit, but go ahead. No, you're fine.
I mean, I just see it. I mean,
what
do you really have on the other side besides Fox News and a couple of internet outlets other than that? And not only that,
just a lot of internet outlets.
Well, sure, but now think about like the Rogan. Let's the Rogan interview for instance. Rogan was pretty just non-biased. He offered that interview to everybody, and the only ones that took it were Trump and Vance. And then you have Kamala.
Definitely should have taken it. That was
absolutely, but she never, ever would have stood a chance for a 3-hour sit down with Rogan. Yeah. And then look what happened. Rogan ended up endorsing Trump. Now, I think Rogan had a pretty open mind about it, and he wanted Kamala on, and he wanted to have that conversation. When Kamala and Waltz both turned down, and he had Trump and Vance, and he heard one side, and obviously the other side didn't have any balls to show it, he ended up endorsing Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think that's what the American people did in a way.
Such a salad of slanders to address here. I don't know how to even start.
From the beginning.
Did Trump not have balls appearing on Howard Stern? The invitation was open, yes or no?
I don't recall.
So the invitation was open.
Sure. Okay.
And he did not show up. So he does not have balls too.
Is Howard Stern a liberal now?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I know that much.
I totally missed that.
Oh yeah, no, he embraced the woke movement for what it is.
I was not aware of that, but I mean, yeah, I guess Howard Stern would be pretty big.
So, and do you think, being a liberal, do you think Howard Stern might have been a little easier on Kamala than Trump? I would say yes.
I would think
in all
so.
fairness.
I would see some bias there.
Now, just in all fairness, do you think Joe Rogan, being slightly more conservative, would have given Trump versus Kamala a slightly easier time?
No.
It's possible.
Not at all.
No. I think
But Joe is beyond reproach. Huh?
Rogan doesn't necessarily.
Joe Rogan
because there's video out there
epitome
that he states that he doesn't like Donald Trump and he thinks he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly. And not that, like, I mean, I think that I don't watch much of Howard Stern, but Howard Stern.
The interview was, there was no, where did he hit him hard?
I think the problem comes there is that Joe Rogan's had a bit of a transformation over the past handful of years. He's had a lot of conservative guests on, and he tends to believe the people he has on more.
Brett Weinstein.
Yeah, so
he's seriously,
entire-
he's not having the upper echelon of liberal intellectualism.
He's had the IDW on, but the liberal intellectuals also aren't going on shit like Joe Rogan. And also, the liberal intellectuals are garbage. He's not bringing on leftist intellectuals. He's not bringing on communists or socialists. And the liberals aren't going to say anything that's
I would
remotely
agree.
of value.
Pete Buttigieg is setting a much-needed precedent for what Democrats need to do, which is go into these forums.
I mean,
but he also
if
needs
they
to
could
suck
figure out
less
how
at
to
his
do
job.
As far as I've heard, Howard Stern nowadays might as well be on the panel of The View. Like,
without question. Well,
without question, for sure.
And I don't think Joe Rogan's that far right.
He had next to Joy Bear.
He had a comedy exorcism a few years ago, Joe, and decided to give up making people laugh for a living. And so, yes, I mean,
I think a lot of the late night hosts did the same thing, from what I hear too, because I don't watch any of that shit.
Yeah,
but,
once Colbert was out and everything, and they went
had
to
to suck
just
everything out of
laughter
daytime.
instead of laughter.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, how about this? Let's move on. Stevie, can you go ahead? Let's start this off instead of my question first and then the clip. Let's play the clip first, and then we'll go with it. Play clip 3, please, Stevie.
Perfect.
Things that might change under a new Trump administration. The former president has promised to reinstate a ban on military service for transgender people and to block transition-related care for minors nationwide.
But what does this anti-LGBTQ rhetoric practically mean for a second Trump term? Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Stephen Romo. So, Stephen, what are you hearing from voters about a second Trump presidency?
Yeah, Kate and Clay, there's a lot of fear in many of the LGBTQ plus community, particularly about trans rights when it comes to the former president. Advocacy groups like the Human Rights Campaign posting today, "We are brokenhearted, but we are not broken," along with a list of different resources, including mental health resources for the community.
I have a lot of friends and family that are, women, LGBTQ, so I fear for them. I think our country just got a lot less safe for them.
Yeah, Stephen, President-elect Trump's campaign ran ads with messaging around transgender issues. There's one that it was all over the place with the tagline, "Harris is for they, them." I wonder whether people in the LGBTQ community and others that you're talking to worry that things are really going to change just tonally under a new Trump administration.
Certainly, and one thing that I'm hearing from voters is the fall of Roe versus Wade. They bring that up. The Obergefell decision, which happened in 2015, which legalized gay marriage, also based on the right to privacy, which is how Roe versus Wade ended up falling. They're bringing that up as something that they're seeing.
So that basically just asked my next question here. I do see a lot of people, on the socials and everything else that are afraid for their way of life changing. A few friends I personally talked to, they're actually afraid of this new administration coming in and changing their way of life. Do I have anybody on this panel that would like to take this one as far as Trump possibly annulling gay marriage?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I would like you to go first, though.
Sure. So I'll start with an event I was at today, and that is a Party for Socialism and Liberation event. It was a recruiting event, and it had the biggest numbers I've seen there at any of their events so far. And I think part of that was this election. But people that I've been protesting with via this organization have been not optimistic about Kamala. She recently came out and said, when asked about transgender rights, she said something like, "The law is what it is." She didn't give a position as to her own stance on it. She was just like, "The law is what it is." And these people, being in Missouri, a red state, are worried for their safety here, and they know that the Democrats are not coming to save them. There are probably a lot of liberal LGBTQ people in this state that are quite worried, but the further left, they were already worried, and they were already concerned. So I don't think they're that much more concerned. But they definitely do have fears for what it's going to be like going forward.
Okay, so you're saying they really don't think Kamala would have really made a difference or done any better?
Not here.
Yeah, so basically with Trump winning, it's not really changing. Because at least as far as I've heard and what Trump has said, he's not really thinking about this issue.
Right.
It's not really.
We might face some national level changes to how easy it is to access care, how the FDA treats this stuff and everything. But I don't think on a state level that we were going to see the nation do anything to protect people's local and regional rights.
Okay. Now, George, if you don't mind, I did have an interesting conversation with you a couple days ago, last week as well.
You still owe me money from that conversation, by the way.
Well, do you charge by the 10-minute or the hour, or are you like lawyer charges? Or
You know.
Is it money or is it?
I only accept a burlap sack with a dollar bill with unmarked dollar bills in there.
Okay.
Damn.
But yes, go ahead. We were having a fine conversation.
Yeah. And I just you strike me as one of those people that were afraid of a Trump administration.
Well,
and
you can't. One hates to use a double negative. You can't not help to be. So I'm not sure. Are you? I want to kind of go back to your point just real quick. Are you saying there is no hope for the LGBTQIA plus? I think I'm getting all the letters right now.
There's definitely not no hope. I mean, there's hope.
Because
for
if you're
these
saying the Democratic Party is not here to save them, then I ask you, truthfully, who is?
We save us.
That's not how that works.
Well, I mean, through activism, through protest, through direct action, through solidarity, through mutual
as long
aid,
as there's
all that
movement.
stuff.
To be fair to Trump, which is something I do try to be, and by the way, I, like many Democrats, wish Trump the best. You are a moron. No, you are a moron if you root against this country. We're all in the same boat, folks.
Thank you.
We need this to work.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
But I'm going to hold him to the same standards he held the previous administration.
No, you should hold yourself to a higher standard. I'm gonna hold him to a higher one.
Yeah.
And we will see how that turns out.
Okay, so
the current one failed us.
To his credit, he has on numerous occasions says he does not support Project 2025.
Sure.
And I give him credit. I think to your point, he has better people now around him than he did previously. I don't know how far that will go, but I think that's part of it. Project 2025, though, does openly state that they are going to repeal protection for same-sex couples, not just marriage protection under the law. Okay?
Sure.
This is open discrimination. So I ask my friends, all of them. I have many conservative friends. I have many Christian friends. I have many evangelical friends, right? And I say, you don't have to agree with my marriage. I don't want your church to perform gay marriage. I couldn't care less if you agree with my marriage or not.
Absolutely.
But leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I'm not hurting you. I am not hurting you. The problem is that Trump has already done the damage. It's over. It's over for us. He has stacked the Supreme Court with the ultra-right. Clarence Thomas has already said we need to examine same-sex marriage in this country and bring it to the state level. Now, what happens to me, Joe? I'm married.
The Democrats need to legislate.
Well, they will have no power for 2 years. So to Trump's credit, let's see what he does. Because for the next 2 years, he will have the executive, he will have the legislature, and he will have the judicial. He will have a clean slate apart from the Senate filibuster to do whatever the fuck he wants. So let's see what happens.
If that happened, if that actually happened, I just personally, I don't
They'll bring
think,
it to the state level, but go ahead.
I don't think every average day Americans care. I really don't. As far as,
but it's not average Americans that make the choices and decisions about
well, I'm just saying, like, if they were to do, like, let's say this, if that were to happen, and then gay people could not get married, and then there was actually an attack,
or be fired.
No, or yes, or something
be fired
like that.
For being gay.
I'd be staunchly gay. You'd see me voting Democrat next year or next term. Like if that was the only way that I could turn that around.
That would be such a blow to
legislation has to
them.
be put back on. Like they would have to re-add legislation to get voted upon.
I don't think your average conservative just doesn't like gay people. I don't feel that way at all.
Your average conservative does.
I think
just like gay
your average
transgendered people.
100%. Your average conservative is, let me immediately throw to you. Your average conservative is white Protestant male. It is. I'm sorry. You are well in your opinion, and there are many who represent an African American portion of the Republican Party, but it is not the dominant demographic. Okay.
Sure.
So, again, what's going to happen, and then throw to you. What's happened is already happened. Is that it's going to be the Supreme Court. They're going to throw it back to state rights, just as they did Roe versus Wade. What happens then? What happens to my marriage? Do I stay in a red state where I can't visit Jordan if he's sick in the hospital because I am not family?
Yeah, that'd be disgusting.
It is. That's how this country was until 2015, Joe. It's only been 9 years.
So can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Do you think the Democrats are going to ever pass legislation to secure your marriage? Or do you think we're going to have to do that by ballot initiative like we did for abortion?
I hope it will be at the federal level.
I'm betting we're going to have to do it.
It's going to be by the state.
By the state.
Well, that's
we're going to have to start a movement and do that in our state.
Well, let's let states do everything. Whatever.
We can do
Hell
that
with
in
it.
our state. We did it for abortion. We can do it for gay marriage, and we're going to have to because the Democrats aren't here to save us, bud.
Well, that would be something I'd be definitely for on a federal
See,
level.
I think what because I think what's going to happen with that is like the people who really don't want gay people to be married are the super hyper Christians.
They don't want gay people
because it goes
period.
against the book and all this other bullshit. And then
barely.
Well, no, dude. I mean, like real shit. Like these motherfuckers don't like gay people at all, bro.
Yeah, but that's not because the Bible says so. That's because they're a part of a cultural movement that says so.
And the Bible says so.
I don't know.
Barely. It also says you can't wear fabrics of mixed cloth. It doesn't take it as a serious deal.
I understand the Leviticus
Yeah,
code.
but it does say in there that a man should not bed with another man.
No, it doesn't just say that. It says you shall put them to death.
There you go.
You shall kill them.
Yeah, but Leviticus also said that about mixing fabrics.
I understand.
And for like
Christian hypocrisy is
for like 1800 years.
But guys,
gays
how
weren't a big
about
deal.
we save the religious talk for the next one because we will certainly be getting into that on the next episode. Let's go ahead with this.
Had some words on the last topic here. He
hold on.
skipped over.
Let's James go.
It started to get interesting there for a second. I was going to sit up and watch this
Just
bouncing ball go back and forth.
Comments. I have a feeling they'll drift.
Okay. So the whole fear of with the whole Trump shit, right? So nobody cared, man. Like seriously, with the whole gay thing, it wasn't an issue. You know what I'm saying? You guys had your 2015 where you guys were able to get married. Everybody did Pride. People were able to make money off of Pride.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a whole thriving, marketable thing.
I can't
you know what I'm
stand
saying?
Pride.
It doesn't matter, but it's accepted.
Oh,
that's
no.
how.
It doesn't matter.
No, but
I think people hate seeing
that's
it.
your opinion. But
It's the right
okay,
one.
but that's.
I
but,
think people
okay,
hate seeing
okay,
it.
but
That's
see.
what we're worried about.
Okay,
we are
okay.
talking about popular culture.
But I'm just saying, like, they're, you know, you got your rainbow, you got your, you know what I'm saying? You got all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
believe it's going to turn them? It's going to influence these young kids.
okay, so
and
you
it's
guys,
gonna turn them into
you
it.
guys got all that, right? You know what I'm saying? 2015 all the way up until what you guys are fearing now in 2024, right?
Well, you guys are city Trump people.
Okay,
You're not urban,
hey, hold up,
rural
man.
Trump people.
So you guys got all that right, man. You guys got the, you know, and nobody cared, man. The whole you could be gay and be out and be. You know what I'm
Nobody
saying?
cared. It was a 5-4 split on the Supreme Court.
But
nobody cared. Did you listen to Fox News the next day? Nobody cared.
He's talking about the actual people.
Yes,
around
yes,
you.
yes. By the way,
people around you don't care.
Who here has worked for a Christian organization?
Okay.
Okay.
Look, where I'm trying to go with this, man, as far as guy on guy, girl on girl thing, man, it was acceptable. You know what I'm saying? The only time it really became an issue and became a front issue was when motherfucking you guys started talking about making our kids transgender and shit like that.
So you guys is very troublesome.
Exactly.
Well, no. Okay,
We're going to
okay,
get into
okay.
that in the next episode,
All right.
but yes.
Okay.
Because I
Okay,
don't,
but I mean, it's with the it's with the alphabet gang.
No,
you know what I'm
but
saying? Like
that's
for
the
real.
problem,
That's
James.
but okay, but see, you got, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the gay community doesn't accept the last, you know, the T.
You
whatever.
have assumed I am gay, therefore I have a feeling on transition.
It's almost the same term as you people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm not because I'm trying not to.
But that's the thing.
sound.
That's the common thing. That's the exact point we were making. That is the common opinion. And that is what is really scary. That there is a direct correlation, that you hold them to it and you believe that they are trying to turn your children into them.
Yeah,
to
that's
think
a
that
false
you
belief.
can
It's not
train
happening.
them.
When you
To
when you
think
start
that's a
putting it in the
trainable
schools,
event.
man.
So you're telling me that you can get rid of it then? It can be gotten rid of? It's just a thing you learn? How did you teach
I think
the
if
other
you go-
direction? How did you teach the other way then? What did they do that made them straight
I mean,
and
there's-
cisgendered? What did they have to learn in order to do that? How did you teach it?
Every gay kid came from a straight couple.
Yeah. Just a fact.
No,
Well,
by the way.
some gay guys had kids. That was big
Well,
in the
but-
50s.
well, but every
were buying them. Come
biological
on now.
gay child
Yeah, I know what you mean.
came from a straight couple.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least from straight sex.
Yeah, right. Correct.
I mean, that's just common
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
Well, it is until you get into the homosexuality is unnatural argument, and that's something that's very prevalent.
I mean, hey, dude, whatever you choose to do, whatever you choose to do is
God,
you,
if you're
bro.
a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, God says it is. It is unnatural.
Yeah, no,
he
when
actually says it's
you
an
got to start
abomination.
coming into my bathroom, you know what I'm saying, and going into my daughter's bathroom.
But is a gay man doing that, or is a transgender person doing that? Because I believe they're completely
it'd
different.
be the transgender. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be the little
James,
pervert
what do you
dude.
do when you go to the bathroom?
Oh, please don't
Right?
answer that.
TikTok.
That's what
Do
I
not
always
answer that
ask.
question.
What happens in a
TikTok,
bathroom that we're
like,
so afraid
shit,
of?
Shit in urinals. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you.
He's laying cable,
It's
right?
you. You've been doing it.
Do you have any idea? how hard
You
it
go
is?
shit, you go piss. You're not trying to see other people's genitals. If you're seeing other people's genitals in the bathroom, you should probably be going to jail.
You're in the wrong bar.
You're doing
You're
this.
in the
you're-
wrong
yeah,
bar.
You're not here. Right. You're putting
Let's-
something in a glory hole or something. You're not supposed to be seeing people's genitals in the bathroom.
No.
Let's
Wait,
switch this one
there's
up,
a
guys.
glory
Let's
hole in
let.
the bathroom?
Oh God, it depends on what bathroom you go into. But yeah, I mean, the ones kind of close to
You gotta
pops
hang
and
out
around
more
pops.
on the east side.
Right, no doubt. I mean, if
I
you're
don't
near
know.
that space in the back where they show the videos,
Yeah, I was gonna
little
say the
festival
glory hole
stalls
thing
and,
kind of scares me a bit. You know?
I don't know what's on the other side.
I'm not that
I
brave. I'll
might
tell you that
like
much.
it.
Yeah, no shit.
I've never used one.
I am not.
Speak for
Haven't-
yourself.
yeah, no,
So-
haven't done it.
Something
Never
tells
been
me
there.
I don't believe you.
Let's move on from this topic,
just
guys. As far as Trump's policies,
How did you move from glory hole to Trump's policies? Good move, man.
I'm
Nice.
just-
Good
I'm
segue.
just trying to keep
Good
it-
segue.
just trying to keep it
You
moving.
like how he slid it in
Oh,
there?
us on track.
beautiful. That was like
it was
silk.
just like a glory hole.
It was
You
silk.
love how we
We're
just slid
drifting.
it in there, right?
Speaking of
slid it on
fucking,
We're starting to wander a bit here, I think.
No, dude, you're right on
Speaking
track.
of the American people fucking, why don't we talk more about the American people getting fucked? Anyway, so about Trump's policies, do you really think if they're for the betterment of this company,
no, you said it right the first time.
America is a business.
company, yeah.
if Trump's policies are really for the betterment of this company, how long do you think it will take for us to see them take effect on our economy? Now, since I worded it that way, let me go ahead and go with the guy wearing the Trump hat. How long do you think it'll take? And if they are for the betterment of this country, how long?
You said it right.
No, it's for don't.
No wrong. No,
It's
no
a
wrong
company,
answer.
bro.
Well, essentially, yeah.
It's a
Any
company.
disagreement here.
Yeah, anybody? Hey,
It's you. Go on.
No, it's on you, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
no. I was just like, do you disagree? Is it not a company?
It is a company now.
Okay, so yeah,
3 companies in a trench
we're all
coat.
unison.
With the guy in the back.
Okay, yeah.
No, I mean,
I'm
how long do you
saying,
think until we see
like-
effect, basically?
Like 2 years. I want to give it because it's a clean. He can't be stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
for real.
it's 2 years.
You got
Absolutely.
2 years, man, to do everything that you say you wanted to do, man. You got no interference.
Clean slate.
So
It's
I think
basically,
it'll be an instant boost. I think
Yeah,
it's.
it should.
I'm already seeing it right now. The day
Yeah,
after the election was over, I
I was gonna
started
say,
seeing
man, the damn
That's 'cause
stock
he watches
market
GDP.
like
Yep.
skyrocketed,
No doubt.
dude.
Yeah,
Bitcoin
GDP.
was way
I
up.
watched that GDP somewhere. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
The
don't follow
market
these
did
metrics.
just fine.
But no, so I'm just talking about day. If we're looking at the stock
Instantly.
market, things that I'm invested in, they immediately grew the day after. He won the election, they went up. My
yeah.
business has gotten better after he got elected. It's whether it's a coincidence or not, it definitely happened. So I don't anticipate that. We've been on a growth spurt now for a while. He didn't absolutely destroy everything in 2016.
The rich have been on a growth spurt for a while.
Though he tried.
Yeah, but there was a small dip with COVID.
Where do
And I say
the
small
rich
dip,
get
but it
their
was a
money,
year and a
bud?
half.
Where do the rich get their money?
From the middle and lower classes.
Exactly. So if they're doing gangbusters, it's because the rest of us are harder off.
Hell yeah. No. Harder working.
No,
okay,
it's because
so
all of us
I
are
get
harder
that.
off because we're doing more work and we're getting less pay for it, and they're
I say
picking
that,
up more
but
of the profits.
did the last administration grow or shrink the middle class?
Both of them shrank it.
Okay, so if we're getting smaller in the middle class, yes, the poor are getting poorer. I agree with you there, but the middle class have definitely improved
I
overall.
don't know about that.
No, we have not.
Not
I
that I've
have.
seen. Well, look,
I kind of consider
personally
myself in the
got
poor
better.
class.
But that's because I've gotten
those are
several
on the
promotions
individual
and better
scale.
jobs.
That's where you need to look at it. That says like an overall factor.
Yeah.
You know the overall factor. No, man, there is no more fucking middle class. anymore.
Your career getting better is not the same as the economy getting better. Like,
Right.
I'm in the middle class. I'm
I've
looking at it from where
I
I
was gonna
stand.
say, man, because isn't like the middle class bring in pay or whatever supposed to be like triple? That's what it used to be from like 1990ish.
Yeah.
I
You
know
know,
I
yeah,
qualify
that
as the
fucking
working
sucks, but
poor, bro.
damn.
All I can do is base it on when I can reference it back to as a working American citizen. You know, so like 05, So from 05 to now, yeah, I've grown exponentially.
I would disagree.
Well, yeah, from 05, I mean, great. I mean, okay, so you say that you're
back in 05, you could have got a meal for $3.
Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
exactly.
But
So-
I have grown since then. Obviously,
You were a
it's
mechanic.
in part.
You are a mechanic,
How
right?
old are you?
Correct. I'm 41.
41?
So how long have you been a mechanic for?
I have been over the last decade.
The last decade. Okay. Yeah, I mean, all right. Yeah, I mean,
So you're
I
seeing
mean,
good career growth.
right,
Yes.
exactly. So I mean, that makes sense because you're developing more skills that demand higher pay for that technical trade. You
Sure.
know, so
And I'm
absolutely
by
you
no
should be
means-
demanding more money.
I'm no means at the top of my career. Like I'm halfway to the top if I was to measure it by averages.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm nowhere near where I'm at the top.
Right. I mean, but
But I am seeing growth overall.
So I'm
in
probably
growth
doing
in the
better than you,
career.
but let me put some perspective on this. And that's that
Probably.
in 2005, 2006, my parents were working normal jobs in the middle class in upstate New York. We had a house in the suburbs. It was a little bit better of a house than they could afford, a little bit better of a neighborhood than they could afford. But they were both making 30 to 50 to 60K a year if the overtime was really good. So just normal jobs and shit for back then. And if I try to tally up how much it would cost, how much I would have to make to live the same lifestyle as they lived, putting money into savings and everything, I would have to make $350K a year today. I mean, shit is way worse. Like, things might be better in some handful of ways, but overall, the prices are way up. Wages are way down. Workers have way less power, and the rich have way more power than ever before. And I mean, that's something that people feel and something people are mad about because we built this. We earned it. And we're not seeing it. Other people are seeing the fruits of our labor. Epstein's client list is seeing the fruits of our labor.
Yeah. I mean,
what about
I wish
that
he wouldn't
guy's
have killed
pilot?
himself.
You know, like no one talks about this dude's pilot. Where's he at? Epstein's pilot.
No, Epstein's yeah.
Man,
Because
where's this
everything that he
dude?
had, everything he had classified went with him. He killed himself.
Did you guys see that news
Quote,
story that came
unquote.
out during the campaign that Trump was flying on one of Epstein's planes, and it wasn't like a corruption thing. It wasn't a specific
No,
Trump
he
was
took a
actually doing
flight
thing.
from within the
it
United
just happened
States.
to be
That was it.
happened to be a private plane, and one of the private flight company
Dropped him off. That was at another
happened
damn
to
airport.
be,
That was it.
happened to own the plane that used to belong to Epstein. So it was kind of just funny how that stuff rotates around. So he was probably just flying other rich people to a different island for other kinds of sex tourism.
You know what Carlin says about this situation, right? A voice I wish we still
yes, I agree.
clearly
I
had
agree.
It's a
today.
big club.
people
You're
would
not
have
But
listening to him.
he said the rich are here. The rich are here to take all of the money and do none of the work. The middle class are here to do all of the work and take none of the money. And the poor. The poor are here just to scare the shit out of the middle class.
True.
Good old Carlin, always
right.
laying it down. Yeah, for sure.
Don't forget to work, or you'll end up like this.
That's
Right.
why if you try
The
to
Book
feed the
of Carlin.
homeless, you're going to get threatened by the cops.
I work at City Hall, believe me.
That's really
you know.
fucked up.
You know that.
seriously, but it's
Okay,
true.
guys. So, although it's a far-fetched conspiracy, many feel that our recent COVID pandemic was a planned attack on Trump's leadership in the past. Can we expect something similar or even worse in the coming years? I am for conspiracy theories to a certain extent because there's been a lot of conspiracy theories that have just, boom, been proven just all of a sudden true, and they're not conspiracy theories anymore. So this is a far-fetched one in a way.
There is so much dumb in this question.
I don't believe so.
I'm so
There
glad
is
you're here,
so
George.
much unbelievable dumb
Okay.
that exists in this question.
Please elaborate.
I don't know how. I don't
Yes,
know.
you do. Don't act like you don't have
where
a
to start.
conversation.
So
Well, I mean, we
okay.
could start with a
So,
wide
okay.
variety of parts of
So
that.
No doubt.
let's
Like,
let's
at
pick the
least
word
two.
many. Many feel. Where do we get the word many?
Well, there's a lot of
pulling words
people
out
in
of
this
his ass.
country. I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, the 5 are many, 4 are many.
Okay, so
sure,
we're all okay.
whatever.
So let's okay. So
Some.
we need to lay groundwork. Is there anyone that disagrees that this virus came out of a Chinese lab? Right, we're all in agreement with that, correct?
Sure.
Chinese
yeah.
lab by an
Agreeing that
American team
it
because they were
came out of it?
outsourcing it to a cheaper lab to do the work of making biological weapons.
That
at a
didn't
cheaper
happen,
facility.
and Fauci's emails didn't say that.
So there just
They
seems
certainly
to be,
tried to say that,
there
no, it
just
didn't.
seems to be a pattern here where Trump supporters, for whatever reason, have to find this way. Who, by the way, so I own a limited liability company. I don't know if anyone else here is a business owner. Okay. So right. So you understand corporate tax rates.
No.
I belong to a company.
No, I just own a company. That's all.
I I often say I am very willing to pay taxes to live in the greatest country on earth. Can I please just keep some of my money? I need eggs and milk and bread.
He likes French toast.
But okay, so Joe, you and I had this conversation the other day. You had out crazy this question and had said something to the effect of Nancy Pelosi was the planner of the January 6th riots.
We can go ahead and roll that into the next question, because the next question was, do you think we will be experiencing something similar to the insurrection we had with our last transfer of power? Will there be riots in the streets?
So,
should we be preparing for chaos and martial law?
May I just say, I have, and I want to throw the panel, but I had a friend.
I don't believe so.
I had a friend. I don't know if he's a friend anymore. Who knows? But I had a friend text me the very next morning after the election to gloat, as people are wont to do. And he said,
What an asshole.
And he said, well, what are you going to do now? And I said, well, not fucking burn the Capitol building down like you tried to do. I mean, he won.
Did they really try to burn the building down, George?
They tried to prevent democracy from happening, which is insurgency, which is, by the way, something the founding fathers, who constitutional conservatives should be worried about a little bit here.
Now,
because
how exactly did they do that? Because what I was trying to say in our conversation...
They literally stopped the naming of the next president. They literally stopped it.
Oh, yeah? Because it stopped and it didn't happen?
It happened because the National Guard had to come in with guns and clear them out of the building because they were shitting on hallways.
They shit in hallways?
Yes, they shit.
Where?
And Pelosi's desk.
I was going to say. I remember him shitting on her desk. That was awesome. It was. He's right. It was Nancy Pelosi's office.
It was on her desk.
Shit on her desk.
I would not have passed up an opportunity to shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
I would shit in her chair.
Absolutely. Are we not Americans?
I would piss on her toilet paper roll.
Are we not Americans?
Well, I mean, if you're thinking about Americans, then they would have hung her in the fucking gallows.
I was going to say, but
holy
also,
cow, we're not Russians. Holy cow,
we're not,
this is America.
I was
the
fact
that they stopped a legal election with protests that turned violent is crazy.
They did. How did they turn violent?
They broke windows. They forcibly entered. There is an argument from the right to say
they had to shoot a woman.
In some entrances,
somebody got shot.
In some entrances they were allowed, in some they weren't. The footage is clear. You can watch it for yourself. They are breaking windows. They are forcibly. It is not.
The windows were in their way.
It is not.
Technically, those windows were in their way.
This bothers me.
Still violent.
Is it my right to stop Trump's?
If you felt like you were wrong and there was half the country that felt that way, absolutely.
What does my feelings have to do with facts? What on earth do my feelings have to do with facts?
It's your right to protest, and I feel like that's what those people were doing.
Peacefully protest is a constitutional protection.
Yeah, so videos I saw were people walking.
Entering a building where they weren't. You are not allowed. Joe, I hate to tell you this. I don't know if I'm the first person to do it. You are not allowed to go to the state capitol building and break a window and walk into the Senate and go up to the podium. You are not allowed.
But when the election's stolen, what are you supposed to do?
Evidence.
If you're going to
say, for 4 years, conservatives have had conservative panels
in
conservative states that have had the ability to look into these claims, and they have provided no evidence.
But there is evidence.
Where?
There is.
Well, how about
where? Mass spread voter fraud, voting fraud. Voting fraud. Where is it?
Well, when they locked all those people out and started covering up all the windows and shit when they went out for lunch. That was illegal as fuck.
All of these things
they were not supposed to do that.
They set on fire.
Did they not address that though? Did they not take care of that? Was that not noted, shown to you, and addressed?
Well, the fact that there's
was there
graphs.
any voter fraud in this election? Was there
this
any?
election?
Oh no, of course not, Steve.
Was there any?
Steve, of course not.
I have no idea.
This one was fine.
No,
this one
yes, there was. They set
big,
ballot boxes on fucking fire.
Yeah, they did that, and then they figured out there was 400 and something fucking ballots that weren't even fucking legal.
You know,
There's voter fraud in this one.
Hold on for a second.
One county.
Hold on, but okay, all right. Can anybody answer? Because I honestly, generally do not know. The ballot boxes that were set on fire, were they in generally conservative Republican areas or Democrat?
Because they were in Democrat neighborhoods.
They were in Democrat neighborhoods.
Yeah, the person who did it, they found him. It was a Trump person, but
so it was a Trump person. Because I just didn't know.
It doesn't matter.
It was Oregon. Oregon was going to go blue. That wasn't like a fucking up in the air thing.
yeah, shocker there, it went blue, right?
Sure. And I will say, I should have. I should have pulled up the graph or whatever, but there is something to be said that the Democrats lost just magically. There were 20 million votes, and it's a very interesting graph.
Yeah.
They're basically
when they're pulled out someone's ass, they are pretty amazing.
Well,
What's
they're
interesting to me-
okay. Basically, everything stayed relatively the same, and then in 2020, you had a spike on both parts, but the spike on Democrats were absolutely huge. And then you look at 2024, and we're still bigger than we were in 2016, for instance, but the Democrats lost 20 million.
20
you know,
million
and where did they go?
Bro?
For the sake of the
We were in
conspiracy,
the middle of a pandemic.
if you're going to argue that they were able to come up with an extra 20 or so million in the previous election, why wouldn't they subtract 20 million out of this one? If you're going to believe there's a conspiracy, would it not be just as easy to erase 20 million votes so that we didn't have the same outcome? I mean, early voting polls were stacked. People were waiting 3 and 4 hours to vote in early voting.
There
They
was
had the
less voting
biggest
now,
turnout.
but yes, we were in the middle of a pandemic. Nobody had anything better
They
to
had
do
the
than vote
biggest
during 2020.
turnout in early voting than ever.
Yeah.
And we come up with 20 million less votes this time with an all-time turnout. And that doesn't sound like there was a problem, like something could have happened.
So how much of,
so if you're going to tell me before that somebody stacked it against Trump, somebody definitely stacked it for him this time.
There's no doubt about it that our government's
argue
corrupt. I
corruption.
mean, I'm not sure which side
Well,
I'm on
I mean,
there.
bro,
I really aren't.
like everybody who was on the left voted for this dude on, that was in this election.
So
there was a lot of Democrats that fucking swapped over because they got tired of the economic fucking stresses that was fucking being put
they're
on
a
us.
fool for believing that this economy is going to be fixed by Trump or was hurt by Biden.
And even so, like
it was hurt by Biden,
I
brother.
I don't believe it was crippled by Biden.
You don't think the further
He
merger
killed
and
the,
acquisition?
he killed the Keystone Pipeline in the first day.
That didn't do anything.
He
but
shut
incite
down the
riot in
fucking.
the popular culture.
Yeah.
Keystone
What?
Pipeline wasn't even going to be built for supply.
No, it was being built to send Canadian oil to Europe. We
That's
weren't
a
gonna see
long
shit
ass
off of
pipeline, don't you think?
It was a long ass pipeline.
Yes, it was a long ass pipeline.
And
How many people do you think that would?
One of the reasons they were
That's
building
what I'm
it,
saying. He got
not
rid of a
many.
lot of
a
jobs,
pipeline
bro.
to keep that
I
pipeline
can't weld
going.
anymore,
It
brother.
takes like 5 people to keep a pipeline going.
Correct.
It's a very
And
low maintenance task.
The build was going to be over what, 2 years, 4
Yeah.
years. It
But
wasn't
like
a
2,
long
3,
term
4 years, but I
Yeah.
mean, but there's still oil fields that are untapped that's
Sure.
here.
I get
Yeah,
you there,
so
but that has
great,
nothing to
let's
do
do
with
it
that
here.
pipeline.
The oil fields being untapped here has to do with oil companies not wanting to risk the investment of doing it because oil prices are so unstable. Demand's going down as people swap to electric and as solar and wind take off. So there's just not as much incentive to drill for oil anymore. They don't know if they're going to get their payoff. They don't know if we're ever going to hit $5 a gallon anymore because there's such a reduced demand compared to what there was
Oh, they're
before.
scalping fucking
Like,
gas,
If shit
bro.
goes to $6
They're
a gallon,
scalping this shit.
companies
They
are just going to be like, we're going back to remote work. You know, like fucking everybody's commute just got 5 times more expensive. Yeah, you can remote work now for a
Yeah,
while.
this is where I'm gonna
demand
work.
is
I
never
can.
going to get that high again, and the chance that demand would get up that high is why they were tapping that oil so hard, because they knew one of these days it's going to be up there and we can make that bank off of this. But if it's never going up there again, they're never going to start drilling this stuff again. We've used all of the low oil that's easy to get to.
Well, yeah, I mean, but even
Everything
Biden
left to
sold
get
off
to is
over
expensive.
3/4 of our fucking reserved oil, dude. Like he depleted our fucking
He
reserves.
didn't. He signed more oil drilling permits than anybody before him, and they're just open and they're not being used. Like Trump doesn't even have to sign any permits. He could be the fucking most green president ever and sign 0 oil drilling permits, and they could just use all the ones they've used before and fucking still keep drilling all of our demand for oil.
I want
for
to say,
years.
man, because the damn whole green ordeal, that's a scam by
It's
itself.
like it's being used as a scam. Greenwashing is huge. Like
Oh,
we're
yeah.
being wasted on stuff. But the climate change is real. Like I've fucking
Well,
grew
of
up
course
in
it's
Western New
real.
York. We had like 3 to 5 feet of snow a year, and like you would just like all winter there would be snow on the ground. It would melt in spring.
Well, I mean, dude, you're a
And
smart
now it's
guy,
like
bro. You
fucking-
know
it's
that
not
the
like-
damn Earth goes through hot and cold
Slowly,
cycles.
slowly,
Well, yeah,
over
I mean,
tens of
been
thousands of
measured
years.
in
Not
those
over, not
cycles.
over fucking from my childhood to my adulthood.
well, maybe
I'm
maybe
only
we're on the
33,
ass,
bro.
maybe we're on the ass end of it.
That's
no one's
not how
ever
they work.
seen
They're
it.
still slow
they
in
have
progress.
seen-
This shit
no,
is
they
like
haven't seen it.
We're
No
on
one
a
that's
new
in
solar
modern
cycle.
history has seen like an actual change like that.
because
They
we
have- I
have
know,
them in the
because
rock
it's
records, and they're
Yeah, well,
slow.
absolutely. Because if you dig down on the side of a fucking, the side of a hill, you get to see time. You know,
Yeah,
you can
and we
look
get
back
to,
in the past,
even
and
with
it
the
happens
slowness of the
constantly.
records of rocks, we get to see that these changes would take 50, 100,000 years
When
to
God
happen on
flooded
this
the
scale.
earth.
Right.
Yeah,
This
because we're
shit
on,
is-
dude, we're on the ass end of it.
This shit is
Here we go.
beyond
We just
unprecedented.
started a new solar cycle. So obviously, in a
Speak
new
for
solar
yourself.
cycle, there's a larger amount of solar energy that is operating through the atmosphere. So yes, solar activity will make changes in the environment on this planet. You're 100%
absolutely
correct.
right. It will.
Nowhere
Yeah.
near the scale of having increased carbon from 250 parts per million
Well,
to
I mean,
fucking
dude, they already.
700.
Well, all right.
That
So,
is
so
also
like,
true.
so like the conspiracy was, they were spraying the fucking sky with chemicals and
That
blah
is
blah blah.
not my conspiracy.
You know,
Well, no, but that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
no,
but then
totally
they came
fucking-
out and then
They
they
are
proved
not.
that they were seeding
You say
fucking
they're not?
clouds.
They are not.
we are going to
You're
have to
talking
have
about
a
rail
whole
trails?
separate segment on climate change. I can see right now. We're not going to do that tonight.
Oh no,
just so you guys
conspiracy
know.
theories. If we're going to start going into conspiracy theories,
We're not. We're not.
That's not even a fucking conspiracy theory anymore, bro. That shit's
it's
declassified, brother.
totally a conspiracy.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I
Look,
mean,
all right, so
okay.
Operation Northwood.
Let me
Hold on,
put
guys.
this
about
Real,
all
real
the-
quick. Hold
I
on.
mean-
Can I get George to say
Joe.
something? George
Yeah,
has been
please,
waiting
go
patiently
ahead.
over here, so George would like to say
Well,
something.
just conspiracy theory wise, I just want to point out that Steve is not Steve. Rip off that mask shows that you're really old man Willard.
Yeah.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for that mangy mutt and you pesky kids.
Why don't we switch it
meddling
up?
kids.
Why don't we switch it up to something a little bit lighthearted? Stevie, can you cue up the meme game for me, please? Because we're about done with this this little deal, and the
getting
meme game
excessive.
lasts for as long as it wants to. We got 20 minutes of bullshit music and happy stuff. So go ahead and cue that meme game theme. There we go, Stevie. That's what I want to hear.
Take it on.
It's only a matter of time before we get somebody dancing on the stage.
I told you we had to build it stronger.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Crazy cuckoo song.
that damn song, dude. It's like-
I should have sent you more memes, bro, because I'm sure my memes are better than whatever
Okay,
you're gonna play.
let's go ahead. Let's start with the
cut
first
me out of
meme
that.
here. Stevie, hit us with it. Meme number 1, please.
There we go.
You already
Yeah, well,
failed.
That's awesome.
Failure.
It was
just
there
fail
for a
at life.
second.
You know, you failed.
It was there.
Sorry, Stevie. The segment is ruined.
Well, I mean-
and we can't go back. It's
can't
ruined.
go back.
It's
Yeah.
ruined.
Fail fast.
personally-
Fail fast.
By the way, does anyone know where the word meme comes from?
Yeah,
No,
it comes
negative.
from Richard Dawkins.
The study of
yeah.
memetics,
Oh, wow.
the selfish gene. You and I should hang out more.
Let's go ahead. Let's
Very
start with the
nice.
first meme. I see you got it queued up now, Stevie. All right, hit us with it. George, let's start with you. Let's just go left to right on the table here.
What am I doing? I don't know what's happening here.
You just say your first thoughts on what this says.
The future,
What you feel.
The future the left wants. The future the right. So the future wants Christian nationalism. I agree totally.
Okay.
I couldn't agree more. Yes, meme. You win at truth.
So you're just in full agreement with this.
Yes, the left looks. Yeah, I would agree. Well, I don't know about the top part, but the bottom part is definitely right. It's like 200% right. which
It's
I
The
think
Handmaid's
is
Tale. I believe that's a scene from.
That's what it looks
I don't know
like.
if
This
you're
is
familiar
where I
with
think
the
the
thing.
Trek
biggest
up top?
cultural disconnect is because a
You can go
lot
ahead
of
and prep the
people
next
who
one,
consider
Stevie.
themselves to be on the right are actually like not people who want that, right? Like these three guys would be on the right, but they're not like, I don't want the Handmaid's Tale. I don't want to own
Right.
woman as
Go ahead,
property,
switch
right?
cameras back, Stevie, please.
If we go
Sorry.
up to his girl, he'd be like, and we're like, oh, he wants to own you as property. She'd be like, I don't think so. you know? But like, that's just how it gets represented. That's how like the right is overpowered in terms of their vote share compared
So
to
is
how
the
much people
left.
believe in their
I mean, the woke movement does not speak for the entire. I mean,
No, sure not.
When I started out being
the
a
left.
liberal,
We're gonna have to talk about what
Yeah.
left means at some point,
Well-
probably in episode 2.
Yeah, all right, fair
Yeah,
enough.
I think we got to dive. I think that's going to be way more fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's hit Luke with the next one here. Luke,
Hit me with it. What do we got?
Stevie, meme 2.
Obvious
I
Epstein
don't
reference.
know, but
Yeah, there's no way.
whoever made that plane needs a fucking.
I love how it's got a
Dude, they-
belly on it. Check out the
Dude, they
belly
need a
on
Nobel
board right
Peace
there.
Prize for the best engineering fucking job ever, dude.
I wouldn't gloat too soon. They're landing at Lambert in about an hour.
Yeah, hey, bro, it's cool, bro. I'm totally used to it. Oh man, no, dude, I think that's totally true. That's in the meme, but are they really going to do it? No,
No, they
there ain't
won't.
nobody going to leave.
Did you
this
hear about the
motherfucker.
Epstein, the latest
they
release
would.
of Epstein tapes? I don't know how much stock I put in it or if I believe this latest set or not, but there's a lot of rumors that Trump was really close friends with Epstein for a long time.
No,
and
it's
they're
only-
talking about a lot of tapes of them together.
It's only
now.
it's only documented by photographic evidence. That's
Well,
all.
photographs is
Well, I mean-
old, but we're talking about tapes now.
Well, I mean,
Oh, you can see
honestly,
him moving. There's no way I could do that.
honestly, dude, like, because if that was the case, like,
Post-truth.
they had this shit. That's if they're just now bringing it out. They've had it for a while. Guaranteed, dude.
Right,
So then how come you didn't bring it out during the election?
Yeah, that would have totally been out.
They
during
did
the
bring it
election.
out. They just brought it out too little, too late, and not
Too
the
little,
right
too late. Shit, that would have been the first fucking thing coming out the gate, bro.
That would have been the newest.
That would have been the haymaker.
It was like 2 weeks ago they brought it out, so it was
2
like,
weeks
it was
ago.
a last minute thing that they were trying to aim, and it
How
didn't
long
catch.
did they hold that grab her by the pussy thing, though? You know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
Yeah, that ran for a while.
They could have a tape of Trump giving a woman a golden shower. It wouldn't make a goddamn bit of difference.
They probably did.
But he paid
probably
for
would.
it, and that's capitalism. She agreed.
Right, no doubt. That's how you cover up prostitution, right? You just
It's
film
legal.
it.
It's fucking legal in Vegas.
There's a receipt.
Hey, look, if you just film it, then she's a porn star, and
It
you're
worked
paying
for
an
Stormy
actress.
Daniels.
All right, Stevie, let's go ahead.
So-
Let's hit James with a
so-
meme real
so-
quick, Stevie. There you go, James. What do you think?
So true.
Yes.
So
Oh,
true.
man,
After they pulled that coup on him, bro.
It's comical
Yeah.
that people just berate his
No,
mental
man,
state all
he
the
was
time.
completely had dementia
It's
and
deserved.
everything, man. But that dude know how to play that shit at the end, like for real, man.
Dude,
he put on that hat, dude. That was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? When have you ever seen? You know what I'm saying?
Actually,
Anybody-
that's the
Trump hat.
exact thing that Joe Biden would do. Actually, I mean, honest
He's
to God,
Jim
he's
Crow
so-
Joe. It's his entire career. This is like who he is as a
Well,
person. He's a Trump guy.
I think the word progressive means you can progress from where you were.
I don't think
I mean,
he's
if we're
that.
quoting stuff he's done over 60 years, then sure, I'm sure he's made some follies. They all have. That's
All
why
of
there's
them.
new people
Everything
in there.
he's done.
People kept reelecting him for his position, so I would say that he didn't do a horrible job overall.
Reach
for,
across
for
the
his
aisle.
positions.
No, he wasn't jockeying for anything. He
think
was
that-
bought and paid for, bro.
Hey, sure, he may have been.
That dude was bought and paid for since childhood.
Stevie, let's hit Steve with a meme real quick.
Yeah.
Here's a good one.
I mean, I don't. Sure. I mean, more guns, less guns. I don't care what side you want to be on the coin. I personally don't want to live in a world where I have to worry about carrying a gun for my protection. So personally, I would say get rid of them, but that's never going to happen.
You'd
So
say
then-
get rid of guns?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Wow,
answer.
that's kinda
What do you
wild.
mean?
Well, the answer clearly, Steve.
It's
The
never
answer
going
to
to
too
happen,
many
though,
guns is
because
adding
people
more
are going to need
guns.
them. Yeah, people are going to need them.
There's a Marx quote I love. Under no pretext shall the workers be disarmed. This should be resisted by force if necessary. I believe in gun
Okay,
rights.
so that's when
No,
government
no.
had muskets and we had muskets. What you gonna do when they send a bomber after your house? You gonna shoot him with your pistol?
Well,
You gonna chase him off your lawn?
Vietnam and
You ain't coming
Afghanistan,
to my lawn,
they
government.
were hiding out in rocks for
I got-
So
I got an
Afghanistan
arsenal.
20
I
years,
got a fucking
and they still
bomb.
didn't beat them.
the Vietnamese
I was
did just
gonna say,
fine,
I mean,
bud.
like-
I was saying, there are a bunch of
If
farmers
you
with
wanna be the
SKSs
Viet
and
Cong,
fucking
have at
AKs.
I don't want to be the Viet Cong, but they're
Have
going to
at
make
it.
me the Viet Cong. All I want to do is
People
defend my
always go
neighborhood, and
rock.
they're going to fucking.
There's the
they-
thumbs up, the famous thumbs up. We have no idea where the fuck that comes from.
They come from Telfer. That's where it came
Telling us
from.
to move on. It's tired of hearing.
I mean,
this.
George, you're into film and bullshit. Like, where does that come from? Is it my cell phone that's
Are
fucking
you
doing
using
Where's
it?
my
Zoom?
meme?
Zoom does the thumbs up.
It's not Zoom.
It's
Is it
because of
OBS?
me.
I don't know. It's the strangest thing. It just pops up
Because I
randomly.
grip my vape,
You know-
and when I
oh.
grip it, I make a thumbs up by
Shit,
like mistake.
I remember.
and it
It's
just
only
doesn't.
when someone's right. Yeah, it just happens. It's only when someone's right.
Well, we've had it a lot. So we've had a lot of right
There you go.
comments on this.
That's a
Apparently.
great episode.
They're listening.
Where's,
Yeah,
all right,
they're
where's my
listening.
meme?
Let's go ahead. Let's hit, Topher with the meme real quick. Stevie, I know you got it queued up. There we go. Gun facts they don't tell you about.
I think those numbers are probably all wildly exaggerated, but like
They could be. These are just memes, man. They're not.
yeah.
They're not fucking vetted.
I think she should probably spend some more time at the range and get a proper holster because
Correct.
like
Not
that
the
looks
place to
very
put a gun.
uncomfortable.
This is
That's
not the place to
yeah,
She's
that's-
going to put a bullet in way the wrong hole.
I was gonna say,
super-
man, she has a built-in
I
holster.
got a gun clip, but I'm not trying to hold that shit inside of my pants or my kilt. Like it's an uncomfortable spot for a gun, and I'm always worried it'll like flip the safety as I'm pulling it out. Nah, I don't want any of that.
What?
Get
But-
her a holster, man.
I was gonna say, dude, because appendix carry is actually the most safest way to carry
Appendix
Yeah.
carry.
Yeah, appendix.
up front,
Right
I
here.
carry mine all the time.
They make holsters for that.
Yeah,
There's no
but
reason a
anyways,
Mexican carry.
but it's definitely like one of the safer ways to actually carry it. So if you get pushed down from the back, you still have control over the gun. So if they're on top of you,
I got a kilt. I could go with
this.
an inner thigh
It's a
holster.
great analysis.
Yeah,
of
pretty
gun and
easily done.
appendix. I like that. It's a good analysis.
Appendix carry. They make those holsters and they are fantastic. If you're looking for a quick draw scenario, appendix carry is definitely the way. If you're planning on being in an urban assault
Hey brother,
situation,
Says the guy that wants to get rid of guns.
I live in the fucking ghetto, dude, where it is like that.
I do guarantee
I've
you,
heard ghetto, and it'd be interesting to hear what neighborhood you're referencing with that term.
Any situation,
I'll say that after we get off of here, because definitely don't want nobody knowing where I'm living at, but everybody here knows where I live.
And not to inject logic and ruin everyone's mood, but if you have a situation where there are no guns, no one will get shot.
Correct.
Just throwing that out
if there were none.
I'm saying if, hypothetically, you have a situation where there are no guns, no one will get shot.
That's pure utopia, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, correct. And that's what I said.
Am I arguing for utopia? I'm stating a clear fact. If you have a situation where there are no guns, it's deductive argument. It's two premises and a conclusion.
Yeah, it's just an impossible place to get to.
Exactly. Yeah, it is, and that's why they'll never go.
Australia did it.
No, they didn't. But how many people died doing it?
Don't go fuff. They did. Someone goes fuff. The Australians think they did.
The fucking military fucking has guns.
Of course. Again, my argument is, what the fuck are you going to do against the military?
So you're basically saying we should all go to Australia with our guns and take what we want.
By the way,
that'd be interesting to see.
The Constitution guarantees you the right to bear arms for a militia.
Then let's form a militia.
That's fine, but don't tell me it doesn't mean that, because that's what it says.
Thumbs up again.
That's one for the conservative side. I'm going to have to say that. They said we can build one. So.
I think we got enough for another round real quick. Let's hit George with another meme. I think I saw the preview.
This one's a little pixelated, but yeah, here we go.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Oh, I like it.
I did not plan these memes. I had no idea who was sitting where.
I bet she's a real good time with the amount of coke that big.
No shit.
No, that's got to be nay powder. After an election loss, that's ketamine.
Oh my God, you think she's at that level? Woo, boy.
This was not planned, George.
A, this is evidence she did work at McDonald's, and B, I would just say, I'll just leave it at that.
On that note, I need a beer. Someone pass one.
Yeah, sure. We got coolers. We got everything we need. Yeah. All right, let's hit Luke with another one real quick. We'll get another round out and then wrap up this episode.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, man, I've been waiting for that. I'm not sure what kind of person that is, so we'll just call it person. But I've been waiting for the next episode because that shit was epic.
Did you see the forced cry on The View?
I'll bet you that woman is a Trump supporter today.
Yeah.
Is she really?
And please don't be too
I don't know personally, but a lot of people that were radical feminists back then are TERFs today, and they're Trump people. Which TERF is a trans-exclusive radical. They're feminists who hate trans women.
Oh, I see. I was going to say, man, because
that expands across the
There's a name for everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, because my wife, dude, she was actually showing me a bunch of these videos of like trans women and trans men and stuff, like totally just hating on fucking Kamala. They're like, yeah, I voted for Trump because fuck that bitch. I was like, damn. She's like, her policies suck. It's like, we've never had it so bad ever. So, like, just look them up, dude. They're fucking epic as hell. It's like to roundabout back to like about America. Yeah, like America spoke, dude. Trans, they did. They all did. Straight people, gay people, trans people, they all spoke.
Wow.
What you got for James,
still
Stevie?
Hope. There is also fear.
Well, of course, there's always going to be fear.
Oh, it's a good one for James.
Man, I don't think that's right. Like,
you fucking missed twice.
Well, he's certainly.
Do you really think we'll see another presidential assassination in our history?
Well, he's certainly not going to like hell very much.
I don't know, man. It is wild that he had 2 assassination attempts, and I said,
I mean, you can't. They won't be able to touch that.
I said when he had his assassination attempt that was a clear-cut sign that he was going to win the presidency. There's no president in the past that has survived an assassination that didn't get reelected.
Didn't Reagan?
But it doesn't.
No, Reagan was on his second term.
Hold on,
right?
He would have been reelected.
Steve, but logically speaking, anyone who doesn't survive an assassination attempt can't run for office.
That's solid facts, bro. That's solid facts.
Absolutely.
It really is one or the
other. If they had survived, would they have lost?
Somebody watching this is going to point it out real quick.
It's the dead guys who win that you really got to watch.
It's like it's like that fucker there. He's good.
That's the Democratic policy, right? Weekend at Bernie's,
right?
Paying attention.
Right. It's like it's like, man, that's the best politician there is.
I thought the Democratic policy was the dead guys voting, not necessarily winning.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I didn't think they were Weekend and Bernie's. And
we got one for we got another one for Steve. Stevie.
That was it.
Oh, that was it. We're out of memes, huh?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to have to send you a
Gotta
bunch of
reload.
memes in the time between episodes.
Well, you know, I had a little time to. I didn't really like queue it up to
You
like
gotta
how
find
many
good-
we'd have, but that's okay. That's fine.
You got to find good propaganda from both sides. Like, you really have to represent each one because they're all interesting.
They're all funny as hell.
So, yeah.
To me, they're all funny as hell.
There's bullshit.
I'm just
memes.
going to have to take my group chat and just like forward all the memes to Joe.
I mean, there's plenty of
I'll
them.
bet that gets interesting.
I didn't really do like my actual math when it
4
comes to
o'clock
this
in
and
the
like just
morning.
figure out like
Ding.
how many people and how many memes we're
Well, it turns
gonna.
into
I just
shit
threw them together
pics.
and it is what it is. So, with that being said, I believe that is going to conclude episode. This is episode 4. Yeah, episode 4. So, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys being here.
Thank God it's over.
We got a whole nother episode.
Damn, backed him into a corner.
About fucking time.
Got a whole other episode on more subjects to come. So yeah, we're gonna take a little break, but you're not gonna see this for a whole nother week. So definitely subscribe, and then you'll be, notified of all the other bullshit, the notification bell or all that
Be
stuff.
ready to hear
yada,
us
yada, yada.
bicker again for no.
Exactly. This is not stopping for us. I mean, the next episode gets more heated because a couple of these guys just met each other. So now it's just going to be
Stranger danger, stranger danger.
Oh, I promise I mean no harm.
Guys,
If I get
from him.
agitated.
Guys, I kiss first.
I seen it.
A chance to tear down Democrats makes my day.
Damn.
I'll take it from both sides. I'll take the tear down on Dems. I'll take the tear down on Republicans. And I'll take
Hey.
Yeah, that's right.
you're a sandwich politician, huh?
Yeah, that's right. A-framing.
You're like an
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, guys, and thank you everybody that tuned in. And definitely stay tuned for this next episode. It's going to be on LGBTQ plus issues and religion. So that's probably going to get a little heated with this panel, I would
Yeah, my
imagine.
favorite
So
part.
It's gonna be good.
definitely subscribe, like this
Especially if we keep
video,
drinking these beers here.
shoot us some comments. We're going to chat with you guys on the comments and everything like that. If you definitely stayed this long, then you probably have something to say. So just go ahead and fucking say it. I'd appreciate it. So thank you for joining us on the Madhouse Show, and we will see you again next week. Thanks.